My name is Nathan Martin. I joined the United States Marine Corps in 2003 in September. I didn't ship out until April of 2004, and that's when I started boot camp. I kind of made a deal with myself when September 11th happened that if I didn't make anything of my life in 2 years, I was going to do that. And I talked to the recruiters from every different branch, with the exception of the Coast Guard, and they all promised me the world. And I went and talked to the Marine Corps recruiter, and he didn't promise me anything except that I would go to Iraq. And so I thought I could trust him more than I could trust the other people. And so that's why I joined. And I wanted to be surrounded by the toughest, best trained people I could, and I knew that was in the Marine Corps, so that's why I joined. The camaraderie that I experienced in the Marine Corps in general is something that I don't think I could have found anywhere else. It's a group of men and women that are willing to do anything for each other, and you might hate a guy's guts and you hate everything about him, and he comes from Brooklyn, New York, and you're from Los Angeles, California, but for some reason when the uniform's on, it's like you came out of the same womb. I got back from Iraq in March of 2007, and I separated from the Marine Corps in April of 2008. So I was back for 1 year at Camp Pendleton before I separated. I have a lot of friends that I keep in contact with that I was in Iraq with and not in Iraq with. I keep in touch with as many as I can. All of my close friends, the guys who I experienced a lot with. So I make it a conscious effort every chance I get to make sure I'm contacting them and keeping in touch. So that's important to me. I was a heavy equipment operator with an engineer company, or an engineer platoon inside of a motor transport company. So we did missions in town, setting up barriers to protect the civilians and also to protect Marines traveling through the area. When we were in Iraq, our building, our shop where we all gathered in the mornings before we went on our missions and whatnot, that's where we did all our bonding when we weren't out on the road doing work. And we would, somehow we were able to get surgical tubing from the corpsman, the Navy corpsman, and we collected enough surgical tubing, and we cut the top of the hat off, and made a water balloon launcher. And I think my dad sent them to me. I had my dad send me a bag of water balloons, and we filled them up, and then we used to shoot them at the motor T guys when they were in the other lot doing maintenance, checking the tire pressure. We'd hide behind our trucks and shoot water balloons at them. We always had a good time doing that. I got married about 7 months before I deployed. Or no, I guess, take that back, it was like 10 months before I got deployed. My son was born a month, 3 weeks before I left for Iraq. And when I got back, he was 8.5 months old, and I had missed a bunch, and that was one thing that I had out there that was driving me. It was like pictures of him, and so from what I could see being there, things seemed to get better every day we were there, and it's something that the media never reports on, and that was the most obvious thing. And the people that are there, they want to be there. Most of them want to be there, from my experience. I would respect a Marine who had never been to Iraq as much as I would respect a Marine who'd been 10 times. It's not about going, it's about knowing that you could go and being willing to go. I had a willingness to do something, do what needed to be done for any of my friends, if it meant waking up at 4 in the morning to pick them up from the bar because they drank too much, or um, driving a private to the car dealership so he doesn't get ripped off by a used car dealer, and all the way up to jumping on a grenade if that's what it meant. So it's I mean the bonds were there from boot camp. In boot camp it was, I mean, you knew you were in something special at that time. Coming home from Iraq was really difficult. It was impossible to be comfortable, and it still is sometimes. We would, the big concern in Iraq for most people is improvised explosive devices, roadside bombs. And that doesn't leave your head for a long time when you get home. And so it's pretty hard driving your car anywhere. You see a piece of garbage on the side of the road, you can't help but slow down or swerve to the next lane to try not to, because over there a piece of garbage on the side of the road, it could be a piece of garbage, but it also could be the end of your life. So it's that was hard. It was hard to find people to talk to that understood. I had a hard time connecting with my family, and it was a lot easier to just hang out with my Marine friends because they knew what I was going through. So for the first couple of months, it was really awkward. I wasn't at home much, and I didn't really sleep, and I still have problems sleeping sometimes from it. So, but other than that, I'm pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I didn't have any illusions about it when I was there. I knew when I came home, it was just like I was coming home from a European vacation. It wasn't, nobody was gonna be there with a parade. So it was exactly what I expected. We got off the plane. I was just so excited to be back in America, and got off the plane and got on a bus and got to the parade deck where the families were waiting, and spent half an hour trying to find all my gear, and but it was a good feeling. It didn't matter that nobody but all that mattered was that I was home. So it was nice.